Good evening, everyone. Good evening, YouTube. My name is Roman, and doing another data recovery vlog today. As I promised you guys that I will be doing more vlogs regarding different data recovery jobs and different types of hard drives, just for educational purposes. So you guys at home who have different types of hard drive problems or any other media type of problems with hard drives, zip drives, regular hard drives, internal, external, flash drives, and whatever media you got that has issues. I will be making different types of videos for you guys to see what I'm working on and what type of issues we as engineers, data recovery engineers, usually run into. So today I just wanted to show you guys this particular hard drive that came in, and it had a problem with the circuit board. And this is that's a new drive that actually recently came out, maybe possibly within last 3 years. But it's kind of a bigger capacity. So this is the drive right here. It was a bed drive. As you can see, this is an 8 terabyte, so it's a very big capacity Seagate hard drive, and it's a model ST8000 AS0002, as you can see here on a white label. So this drive had a bad circuit board, so it wasn't a major problem, thankfully, because a customer told me that the drive is full. So he used the drive as a backup for his personal home movies and family photos and stuff like that. So he basically transferred all his data from his storages onto one drive, which was this drive, which is 8 terabyte capacity. And he provided me with a transfer hard drive to transfer the recovered data, which is even bigger capacity drive. So this is a Western Digital 10 terabytes. It's internal also as this one. So they can be put in an external enclosure, of course, of any type if you would like to put them in, as long as they support the enclosures I'm talking about support this type of capacity, because most of them right now on the market do support those types of capacity hard drives. So anyway, guys, today in my video I just wanted to share with you guys what I did. The circuit board, the original board, was bad. The drive was not spinning up, and I had to use donor drive, which is this drive right here. It's the same model hard drive as this one, as a bed drive, and I had to transfer firmware from original circuit board to bed, from the bed drive to the donor PCB board. So the donor PCB board is currently on this drive. So currently this drive is working right now, but the customer provided transfer drive. He just didn't want to use his original drive anymore. He was kind of cautious about it, so he provided me with another new drive to transfer all the recovered data onto this drive, onto 10 terabyte. And this drive basically right now has all the data already. I already transferred all the recovered data. So I just want to show you guys what I did, and it's one of the procedures that engineers have to go through every day in terms of different, like I said in my previous videos. I will be making more videos if you follow my channel, and please subscribe to my channel and hit the like button, and if you like this kind of content. And I'll still be making vlogs about different data recovery jobs. So guys, if you don't like this video, you can also, I mean, it's your choice, but that's what I do, and that's what I will be keep doing. Is I'll be making videos about data recovery service hard jobs and the life of engineers that have to do this kind of job every day in the lab. So in this case, the drive which I used for this circuit board is a donor circuit board. It was a working board from this donor drive. So what I did, I transferred, there's a firmware chip right here, as you can see, if you see it probably, I'm pretty sure you do clearly, this is a firmware chip that I had to transfer from original bedboard onto this circuit board as a donor one in order for me to make the drive spin up again and detect properly, so I can extract the data from it and recover it. So to do that, I was basically, the way it's done is I use this kind of soldering station, which I have right here, and it has a hot air gun option. It's a solder station where you can do soldering also with the station, and currently I'm using a hot air, a part of this soldering station, to do this procedure. So let me connect the power to my soldering station, and just a second please. So I'm turning it on, and as I said, I will use the hot air gun option to do the firmware transfer on this particular board. As you will see more of my videos, all different drives have different locations of this firmware chip. Sometimes and currently most drives do have it externally, I mean separately on the circuit board itself. Some drives don't, and they have it integrated into the processor, so you cannot actually transfer the actual firmware chip from the circuit board to the other board. You have to actually reprogram the board using proprietary equipment and gain access to the processor, which has the firmware in it. So that's a little bit different, but I'll show you guys in the future how it's done also. So I have my hot air gun ready, and right now, since it's an educational video, since I already recovered the data, I'll just show you guys what I did. And I will be basically returning the firmware chip from the donor board back onto original board, the original firmware chip, so everything is back into their original places where they were originally before the data recovery job. So I set the temperature, and I will just, and also guys, I will be using my magnifying goggles, so I'll see the chip better. So that's how I do it. Sometimes I don't need them, but most of the time I do. So I removed the chip, as you see here, and I will set it aside, and I will be returning the donor chip, which originally came off from the donor circuit board, back onto this drive. I will solder it back, and I will use some flux in order for me to make sure it attaches properly to the pins. And this is a rosin flux dispensing pan, which I use for this kind of procedure. Sometimes you can use soldering equipment also to do the actual soldering and solder it back onto the spot, which a lot of technicians or engineers do it differently, different type of equipment, different type of procedure, but most of it is kind of the same principle of how it's done. So I will be returning this chip back onto the donor board. I want to make sure that it's straight and that the legs sit on the pins. That's why I'm using the magnifying goggles, to make sure that I see the legs attached to the pins while I'm using hot air gun. So basically after that I'm just gonna make sure that it's straight and the legs are attached to the area of the pins and nothing is loose. So basically it's ready to be put back onto the drive, and I'll be putting it back onto the donor drive because it's a working board. And now I'll do the same with an original bed board. So I'll use rosin flux and I will just return the firmware chip onto the original board. Have to use proper flow of the hot air and proper temperature also. Most of you engineers and technicians already know what temperature to set it to, but it has to be at proper degrees, and airflow has to be also not that strong because you're gonna blow off all other chips from it if you don't set proper airflow from the hot air gun. It has to be precise so you don't blow off all other elements of the circuit board, so it's not gonna become more damage, because otherwise you'll have to reattach and find out which element has come off or blew off from that procedure. So after you do that, it's all done right now, and you always have to double check to make sure that the pins are attached straight to the pins, the legs attached to the pins properly. So this is all good, and it's gonna go back onto its original drive. And I always mark it to make sure I know which one of course is original, is here OR, which means it is an original PCB board from the original bed drive, which is marked with an X, which means it's bad. So that's how I know which ones is which. And if you guys at home, if you do some kind of swapping, make sure you mark all the stuff, all the parts that you take off, because otherwise it's gonna become really bad. You would not know which part came from which drive, especially if you have different drives and you're using a bunch of parts. So it's very helpful to mark them. Make sure you mark it with a unique type of representation, like you can name it with any name, just to make sure you tell them apart. And after that I'll just screw it back in. And it's gonna be done, and the customer will have the drive back along with his transfer drive with the data on it. So this drive, he already knows it's a bad drive, so he's not gonna use that drive anymore. And I'll set it aside, and I'll do the same thing with the donor here. And those are big capacity drives, so a lot of the times a lot of people use them to back up a lot of different bigger type of files, such as videos and movies and photos and stuff like that. So it's very important that you guys at home, if you're not sure what you're doing and the drive of this kind of, it doesn't matter which drive it is, just make sure that you contact professionals first to determine exactly what kind of problem that you got, because this type of procedure looks kind of simple, but at the same time you need to figure out if that's gonna be the actual issue. A lot of the times it's not exactly the same issue on each drive, and you'll guys see it on my channel, my future videos, which I will make about different issues with drives. Sometimes the circuit board may actually damage some kind of internal parts inside of the drive when it shortens out, So it basically, it's not just the PCB board anymore. It may be something internally wrong with the drive, so it's something that will basically be determined during the proper diagnostic stage. So that's very important that you guys at home, if you're not sure how to work on this kind of stuff, to leave it to the professionals, and the professionals will attempt to recover your precious data from your devices, of any type of devices. And as we go along in my future videos, I'll show you more stuff and more complicated type of procedures in different types of scenarios which we gonna run into and have different type of problems with different drives, because I'm currently working on other drives, and I will make another video for you this week, which is a Rosewood family hard drive, which has different types of problems with heads, and also different types of issues with service area, and a lot of surface damage, reallocation errors, and it's really one of the most complicated type of family of Seagate drives that is currently on the market. And there are more of them right now, and they tend to be encrypted, which we also gonna discuss with you guys on my channel. It's not just Seagate, it's also different Western Digital family hard drives, backup. I mean, external or internal, doesn't matter. Most of the drives currently on the market contain self-encryption. It's just the manufacturers do it so that it protects your guys' data from anyone accessing it. Or if you just lose your device somewhere, like a portable hard drive, and forget it, you always have a password. It's password protected most of the time, so nobody can get into it. So we're gonna discuss that also on my channel. So guys, I really appreciate you watching today's vlog, and as I said, I'll make more videos about different failures of drives on my channel. Please follow my channel and subscribe to it. I will really appreciate it, and hit the like button if you like this kind of content, or if you don't like it, you can still, it's your opinion. Everyone is entitled to their opinion. So but please subscribe, and also hit that bell for notification when my new videos will come out. You will see them and get notified when I make newer videos. So guys, thank you once again for watching, and have a great day, and stay safe.